What's up, everybody?
Hello.
Hey.
Catch
your breath there.
Yeah, it's
Episode number
22
of
Schmovie.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Double deuce.
We I don't know, man. When we don't do our show, I get really sad
And depressed.
I just go to a different zone where I start smoking cigarettes and doing large lines of cocaine, and I just get really disgruntled.
Yeah. That'll do that to you.
Now I'm gruntled, which is actually the opposite. That's a good thing.
Wow.
Right.
I never thought of the opposite of disgruntled.
Yeah, I actually used it in a sentence the other day. Gruntled.
Wow.
It's actually a good term.
What is terrible. It? It's
basically to be pleased.
Happy.
Right.
Pleasant.
Disgruntled, the complete opposite.
Wow. And you are that right now.
I'm gruntled.
If you can all believe me, I'm looking at him right now, and he's very gruntled.
Huge smile on
It doesn't
my face.
sound like a positive word.
It doesn't.
It sounds like what's that word? Grundle.
Gruntled.
You know the area between the ball sack and the butthole, also known as the taint.
Yeah, the taint, the ass to ball connection, the ABC,
the ABC, the gooch, all that good stuff.
That's a lot.
But you are not that. Yeah. You're pleased, as am I. Episode number 22.
22.
We're gonna be talking about a movie that I think mentioned before, maybe our half year recap, as our feature review. That's gonna be Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol. But before we get into that, we're going to talk a little bit about a film that we both saw. It's on DVD now. I think it's on DVD already, unfortunately. But it's a remake.
Yep.
And we have conversations about remakes all the time here.
Yeah.
And everyone's probably aware of my stance. I'm not going to be a broken record, so if you don't know it, listen to a previous podcast.
Here's the thing. In this argument, there's a hash in my column because I said that remakes could be fucking awful, and this is one.
I'm gonna give you credit for this one.
This one was terrible.
Score one for the Ronald, because I was not wrong.
Was terrible.
And we're talking about Straw Dogs.
Right, we're talking about Straw Dogs.
I don't think we even mentioned it yet. We're just so angry about it.
Yeah. Funny enough, all the actors in it, it could have been a really good movie. Really, it was James Marsden, Kate Bosworth. There's a lot of good people. You would think.
Yeah, I mean, Alexander Skarsgård, I think, will be a star someday. He's so amazing.
James Woods. You would think that these people together would be a good movie. Contrary to popular belief.
That's not how it turns out.
No, it's terrible.
This is a remake of the 1971 Sam Peckinpah film starring Dustin Hoffman and Susan George. If you've ever seen the film, it was a very controversial film when it came out. I didn't see it until I was about in my late teens, so kind of in like the late 90s. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I didn't love the original film.
Right.
To be honest, I don't know. Have you seen the original film?
Bits and pieces, man. I'm honestly not.
It's definitely kind of like it's super bleak, super kind of like there's no real positive or like entertaining aspect of the film. It's just really kind of a study on Dustin Hoffman's character and the wife and kind of what they come back to in this town that she grew up in. But in the remake, they try to do a lot of the same things. It's a retread up and down. There's really nothing added to the story or even to the characters, which is what I usually look for in the remakes. And if anything, it made me really just hate a lot of the characters in the movie, which if you've seen the original, you do hate a lot of the characters because it's hard to find anything to like about anybody.
Yeah, sure.
There's a lot of cheap gags in the film. I think that the script wasn't where it could have been.
Yeah.
Like a lot of random people. Like Anson Mount is in the film for like 10 seconds. James Woods is in the film, and he is absolutely horrible in this movie. It literally. When you watch those performances, it kind of make you embarrassed for the person that they're actually in a movie like this because they came from a place where they were probably like a really good actor.
Yeah.
And much respect to James Woods because I've seen movies that I think he's incredible in, but
he was so bad in it. And then
bad.
The guy, what is it called? The cop, the main cop, the sheriff. Played by Laz Alonso.
Yeah.
The only black guy in the town, and it's very clear that they do not want this black dude to exist in this town.
Sure.
It's just terrible. The first opportunity, they destroy him.
Yep.
It's just a bad movie.
There's really no logic to what happens in this film, and I mean, and try to make sense of it, and I mean, right. You just look at it from beginning to end, and all you think about is you see James Marsden's character, and he's like, in a nutshell, it's like, he's soft, he's a screenwriter. He comes from Hollywood. He's living in this town now with the girlfriend to write a book and whatever. And she challenges him to become more of a man, and as does the guys that live in the town, that one of them specifically that she used to date. And you don't really find yourself really rooting for anyone in the end. I mean,
right.
like, you kind of do because you don't want certain people to die, but I don't know. I just feel like nothing really worked for this film. I'm glad I saw it on DVD. I'm glad I did not spend money on it, and I'd recommend you doing the same.
Right.
But now onto a much better topic. We're gonna let you guys check out a clip from Tom Cruise's new Mission Impossible entry, and this guy's called Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol.
Jump now?
Yes. Commit. Jump.
Jump.
Jump. And I catch you. Now.
So, you're sure about this suit, right, Reggie?
Pretty sure.
Now you're pretty sure?
Jump.
Oh, God.
Jump.
Jump!
So, yeah.
I will never not laugh when we come back from a clip and you just are like a fucking robot.
So, this movie, all right, so this takes place several years after everything that transpired in Mission Impossible 3.
Which, by the way, is awesome.
It's a great movie.
J.J. Abrams completely just turned it around for this franchise.
He did.
And Mission Impossible 2 sucked.
Philip
for the
Seymour
record.
Hoffman was excellent in
Yeah,
the third.
just Mission Impossible 3 was awesome.
It's so funny. Like, I do like these movies. I like the scale of them. They're really...
And I feel like we'll get into this, but that's what has been upped each time.
Yeah, the
and
ante has
in
been upped.
Mission Impossible 2, I think it misses because it just kind of didn't feel like it really belonged to the series. And 3 got back on track, a lot of really incredible action stunt sequences, and this one just kind of just knocks it out of the park with one specific scene. But we'll get into that in a moment. But basically just a little bit of a background on what we're doing in this film. Like Ronald said, it's a couple years after Mission Impossible 3, and we basically pick up with Ethan Hunt, played by, everybody's favorite, Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
He is basically, locked up in a prison.
Yeah.
And it's basically him being broken out by Simon Pegg's character, Benji. Paula Patton is one of the newer characters in the series. Jane. But the overall synopsis, not to give too much of the film away, is that during a mission, the Kremlin in Moscow blows up, and the IMF is basically being framed for it.
Yep.
And they're initiating Ghost Protocol, which basically disavows any knowledge of the IMF or any of its agents, and they're basically rogue at this point.
Yep.
And, obviously they want to set it right, so they're trying to find out what the hell happened, and we're on that ride with them.
So essentially, the mission is even more impossible because they don't have the resources that they had before.
Which is an awesome element.
Right, exactly. IMF is a very resourceful sort of group. Like, they have access to everything, maps of everything, surveillance tapes. All this stuff is kind of stripped from them, and all they have is basically a truck full of stuff that the IMF had given them before, and they're just working with that. No communication to anybody but themselves. So this team kind of goes and tries to solve A, who blew up the Kremlin, and B, who the hell is starting all this shit.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, what we're basically the scale that we're on really is that it has to do with nuclear bombs.
Oh, yeah.
Nuclear missiles.
People get really scared when you talk about nuclear.
Yeah,
it's so scary.
Shit gets serious when you talk about that stuff.
You talk about wiping out
that's endgame
countries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why it's so scary.
And, the film overall, it has a lot of your standard Mission Impossible elements. Awesome gadgets, awesome cars, hot babes, amazing action sequences, really cool, slick characters. But I think what really kind of a lot of people are talking about for the film, which came out in theaters, in IMAX theaters this past week on the Friday the 16th, and I think it hits theaters this Wednesday the 21st across the country. Mm-hmm. A lot of kudos going out to Brad Bird for making, this is his first live action film.
Right.
And, a guy coming from animation, in animation world, a lot of time gets spent on detail and staging and storyboarding and all this stuff, by hand. And I think it really kind of is amazing what he was able to do with. I mean, granted, you have pretty much a blank check when you're working with Tom Cruise and Paula Wagner and all these people and J.J. Abrams, but I mean, this movie, I think it steps up everything that the series brought before it, and kind of establishes Brad Bird as he's just not a guy that can put it to the screen with a pencil or a pen or animation. Like, this is a legit action adventure popcorn blowout movie.
It is. I mean, make no mistake about it. It is a popcorn movie. There's no depth to it in terms of, like, it is what it is. It's an action movie about nuclear war possibly happening and Tom Cruise being Tom Cruise, which is amazing. Yeah. Him in his element is really amazing. I think that one thing that this movie doesn't compromise is acting. Yeah. And a lot of action movies do compromise that. So, sort of sometimes the action takes the place of the acting skills, and it really doesn't need to have a lot of good acting, but the acting that takes place, Paula, Patton, Jeremy Renner, Simon Pegg, some of the villains in the movie, really well played. You know what I mean? I didn't come from this movie thinking, this is piss poor acting. I thought that it was solid. It was very solid job from all of everybody.
Yeah, I mean, you think about, like, what some of the things that I'm going back to Brad Bird again, like what some of the things you love about some of the films he's done, like The Incredibles or Ratatouille or even The Iron Giant, which I'm going to talk about a little later. Mm-hmm. It's what I think he does great at is character development and writing characters and developing characters. And not that the other films didn't do that, but this film has a lot to do with, like, you touch into a lot of, like, what Ethan Hunt is, what his motivations are, where his, allegiances and dedication not to just his job, but, to his people, to the people that are around him. And when they're in the situation where nothing is available to them, like you were saying, no resources, no government, no access to pretty much anything they'd want. Right. What they do have access to is one another. And, like, that's where you really see a character come alive, is when they really are in the worst possible situation they could be in and how they deal with that. And, like, you really see Ethan Hunt, like, he doesn't have all the gadgets that he had in the first couple films. He's got some, but specifically a scene, like, when he's climbing a building, we'll talk about in a minute because I know we were both, like, blown away by it. Yeah. He's basically stripped bare of all these amazing technologies, and he finds a way. And it's just, that speaks to that character. It speaks to Tom Cruise. It speaks to Brad Bird. And, I don't know. I kind of like felt that too. Like a lot of the characters, some of the villains are throwaways. They don't go too deep into them. Right. But like even Jeremy Renner's character, and even Paula Patton and Josh Holloway has a small role in the film from Lost, and that's the J.J. Abrams connection, like we were talking about earlier. There's a couple new layers of emotion and just like care. You care about a couple things in this movie. Definitely. Besides them just completing this impossible mission.
Yeah, it's weird because what basically happens is when they start the mission, a couple things have transpired that have kind of weakened the hope for the whole thing. Paula Patton's character is basically, from what I gather, is like a notch below Ethan Hunt's character. Right. She's a big part of the IMF team, and a couple things transpire that kind of weaken her faith in her ability to kind of perform. And what Ethan does is he is a de facto leader. He is that person for them, and you kind of don't realize that. I mean, you know that he's a loner in some ways.
Oh, sure.
But I think this is the first movie that you see where he really has to gather people together to kind of complete this big mission of kind of figuring out who bombed the Kremlin. Another thing I really like about Ethan Hunt's character is like he's a hurt dude, man. Like things happen to him. Like the scene where the Kremlin blows up, he almost gets his brains blown out. Like he almost gets disintegrated in this whole explosion.
And that's a really good point, because this film, I think you feel like a Jeopardy. You feel Jeopardy more than any other film in any other entry in the franchise, because they don't have the tools that they have normally. And like the scene you're talking about when the Kremlin blows up, he's so used to getting away from all these things, and like he always just misses it. Mm-hmm. It just misses him, and he always survives and always does this. And he survives. Obviously, it's Tom Cruise, but that's a really good scene because like you see him realize what's going on, and he tries to run from it. He doesn't escape. He gets fucked up. He's in a hospital. He gets destroyed. Yeah. And that's cool because it makes him more vulnerable. In this whole film, the characters are a lot more vulnerable than I think in any of the other films. Like Paula Patton, her relationship with Josh Holloway's character, they explore that. Jeremy Renner's backstory with Ethan Hunt is explored.
Yeah.
You know, and even on a smaller level, like Simon Pegg finally gets to agent status, and like he's wanting to be, like he feels like he's a part of something, and he's more the comic relief, but you get a sense of like he needs to belong.
Yeah.
And you know, and it makes him vulnerable in a few scenes where he like messes up, you know, and it's like, do you scold him or do you encourage him? And it's like that's where you talk about that characterization. And Ethan Hunt, he's like the grandfather, you know. He's like, you know, he's kind of ushering in this new generation of agents, even though they're not really even officially agents anymore.
I enjoyed Simon Pegg's character. I liked that he was comic relief, but he wasn't so silly that it took away from the whole movie. You know what I mean? His brand of humor isn't necessarily in your face goofiness.
Yeah.
It's kind of sarcasm and snarkiness about kind of the scale of what's going on, and I love that. You know what I mean? He's pretty.
Yeah, talk about scale. I think we talk about like the locations of this film. Like I said before, the movie opens briefly, I think, with Josh Holloway's character in Budapest, and then we go to Moscow. And then you're in Dubai, Mumbai. They actually are at some point in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like a globe-trotting film. And
Right.
and when we go to those places, it's not like on a small level. It's like there's in most of the situations a pretty big action set piece designed around it.
Right.
And to get into that conversation, let's talk about a little bit on these action scenes. I think that the action ante, like we said, has kind of been stepped up.
Right.
In terms of scope, you know, the elements that are involved in the scenes. Before we talk about the one that I know we're going to talk about, I wanted to point out the car chase scene.
Yeah.
Through the sandstorm.
Through the sandstorm.
Which it made me so nervous. Like
You couldn't see anything in this scene.
Yeah, it basically when they're in Dubai, they're basically trying to intercept like an exchange between two of our villains, and throughout the preceding scene, you see like this sandstorm coming in, you know, off in the horizon, and it's like, oh no, it's not a worry, it's far off, it's not going to hit us or whatever. And then when the scene escalates and we get past one of the biggest action scenes in the film, the following one that pursues is basically Ethan Hunt chasing one of these villains through the streets of Dubai, and the sandstorm has hit.
Yeah.
You know, they're on foot, they're in car, you know, they're jumping through windows, jumping through buildings, and I mean, it's so fucking... I was so nervous during that scene because you really can't see anything.
Yeah.
You kind of... There's a couple of shots where you're kind of like in a third person kind of feel, first person kind of feel, and the way that they just make the climax of that whole chase literally made me jump out of my seat. Like when that... You know what I'm talking about. Like when the cars are colliding.
I think there's a big correlation between Brad Bird's idea of like huge things happening with small things.
Okay.
Like I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Ratatouille.
Okay.
Small rat dealing with big people.
Okay.
The Iron Giant.
Yep.
Big robot.
Little guy.
And it's like this recurring sort of thing. And it was kind of the same in Incredibles. Like they dealt with a lot of big things going on. Very small people dealing with big things, like buildings coming down and stuff like that. He seems to be a really big fan of people dealing with things that are kind of bigger than them.
Okay.
And that's pretty amazing, particularly since we were going to talk about the scene with the scene that was probably the best scene in the entire movie.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the one that most people that have read reviews or seen anything that's getting a lot of the publicity, which is basically Tom Cruise, Ethan Hunt. He scales the outside of the the Burj Khalifa Tower,
right,
in Dubai, and I'm not 100% how many levels, how many stories it is,
right,
but this is the tallest building in the world, and this is a man who's 49 years old. I think Tom Cruise is 49 years old, and he did the scene himself. Granted,
Right.
He's hooked to the building. He's not free hanging from this thing.
Still.
He literally is climbing up the glass of this building with these gloves that suction him. You know, blue is glue, red is dead is what Simon Pegg's character tells him. And he needs to get up so many floors to, you know, set up this interception of this meet and exchange. And, it's just such an amazing action scene because obviously things don't work out the way they're supposed to, as always. And he finds a way to make it work and to survive and to get back to where he's supposed to be. But the ride that you're on with him is not only impressive just to see him physically do it. Like, he looks incredible. He doesn't look 49 years old.
Right,
If I
right.
could look like that when I'm 49,
That's incredible.
praise be to whatever. But, I mean, he literally is so effortless in how he does these scenes. One of the things I admire about Tom Cruise, you know, love him or hate him, I love him to death. But I know people have their criticisms of him and his personal beliefs or whatnot. But dude is an action star. And that
Yes.
scene, if you can tell me, you can't look at that scene and give me any justification why you wouldn't put him up there as one of the top action stars of all time.
Oh, yeah, yeah. The way the scene was shot was so amazing. I mean, it says this on digitalspy.com. That's 2,723 feet.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, so that's incredible. Because what they do at first is they show you the section that he's starting in, and then they show like another quarter of it, and then they show the scale of it, and then when he gets on it, they show how big it is, how far along he is on it in comparison to the height of the entire building.
Yeah.
And once you see that and it pans around, you realize that this dude could fall and completely destroy himself. You know what I mean? And it's handled so well, and it's so tense, and the shots are shown really closely, and then they scale out, and this kind of contrast between the closeness of it, him kind of being in his own zone in that circle or so when he's trying to get up, and then they show the scale of how big it is. It really is done well. It's done so well that it's kind of scary.
Yeah, I looked over at you when the scene was happening, and I feel like I could see like a what do you call it? Like a fear of heights.
Oh, I hate
What is that called? Fear of heights.
That thing. It's that
That phobia. What is that?
that Hitchcock movie. Isn't that what it is?
I don't know, dude. I feel dumb as shit right now.
No, fear it's
But anyway, I remember looking over at you and just knowing like how uncomfortable you are. You literally were pushing back in your seat.
acrophobia.
Yeah, acrophobia.
Vertigo.
Yeah, that's whatever.
Vertigo, yeah.
Yeah. God, I always like laughing at you. I'm like, you look so uncomfortable when
I
he is up,
was
and especially like when he starts slipping and falling, and he literally has himself like jarred between a broken glass, like with his legs and arms, literally flush with glass, freestanding vertical glass, and he's finding a way. Like it's mind blowing, and not to mention everything we just said that's so visually stunning about all these action set pieces. If you do not see this film in IMAX, you're a complete fucking fool.
Yeah, you have to
have to watch this movie in IMAX.
I almost felt nauseous in the beginning when they were going to cross Dubai and stuff. Like I got really nauseous.
Yeah.
It looks so amazing. Like it's not a bad thing. It's just sometimes looking in the middle of the screen can put you right into it if you're close enough. I felt like I was in the movie. It was really...
Well, yeah, because you can't help it because it fills your vision.
Yeah.
You know, it fills up your entire eyesight, and it's so clear and so sharp and so just, like, beautiful. And the sound, you literally, you know, it's not 3D, but, I mean, you literally are completely immersed in this fucking huge-ass building.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It is amazing.
It's really well done. Oh, man. Speaking of, like...
Let's talk about... Oh, good, I'm sorry.
Being well done, the music in the movie.
Oh,
yeah. The 10 or 20 remixes of the Mission Impossible song that was kind of weaved in and out of the story.
Yeah.
So well done. Also, the intro of the movie. Oh, my God.
Oh yeah, it's like a
love
little capsule like of the film, like
The entire film.
of the whole synopsis and like key scenes from the film. It's basically like a 2-minute intro, and it just shows like you know, they light the fuse on the wire, and you know the typical Mission Impossible, you know, the remix music, the cool little change to that, and we're just enjoying scenes from the film that you don't really know what they are yet.
Yeah.
But then as you watch the film, you're like, oh, that was that. Oh, there it is.
They've done that. The only time I've really honestly seen that done is like, this is really random, but like True Blood has done that. Like they put little clips of the season in it, like weave it in, like little flashes of stuff that's good. I think that was so well done. I've never seen it in a movie before, to be completely honest with you. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I think also to talk about a little bit, we talked a little bit about Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
Like whether or not they're setting this up to be like a thing that he takes over eventually, or I don't know. Ethan Hunt, I mean Tom Cruise is Mission Impossible to me.
I can't imagine Jeremy Renner.
He's
doing it.
pretty cool in the film. I like Jeremy Renner a lot. I loved him in Hurt Locker. We both did. And he has some really cool scenes in the movie where you see flashes of maybe where he could carry a film like this. But I think it's just so deeply rooted in what Tom Cruise is all about and looks like and does.
What I think would be different about Jeremy Renner's style in general is a lot more rougher. It's a lot rougher than Tom Cruise's. It almost reminds me of like Daniel Craig's take on James Bond. Like, you remember how different he was? Like, he was just very rugged. He would snap your arm. He would throw you off something. Whereas older James Bonds didn't really do that kind of stuff. Like, he wasn't quite as... He's not quite as polished. And I like that about him. He wasn't that bad now that I think about it. At first I didn't really like him because he was so different than Ethan's character. I thought that he would be, but I guess that was the whole idea. Like, Ethan Hunt was just a different character. He had been in the IMF. He had this real life experience with this sort of thing, and Jeremy Renner's character had some experience, but he wasn't quite as, as amazing as Ethan Hunt was, obviously, as the movie progresses.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the acting overall is really solid. I'd be curious to see if Jeremy Renner, if they make a sequel, like what his involvement would be. I think I feel like I've heard his name bounced around like for taking over the Bourne franchise at some point.
What do you think about that? I don't think the Bourne.
I almost would.
Strong.
I almost would see him taking that over more so than this, for the exact reason that you said. Like, it's a more aggressive and violent lead character, and in a more aggressive and violent, just overall series. The Bourne series is. I know that he is going to be in the next Bourne film, which comes out this year, the Bourne Legacy. Right. But I don't know if it's being. I don't know a whole lot about that film yet, but if it's being set up for him to, take it over or not.
Right.
I would see him in that, though. I could see him taking that over. That would be interesting to me.
It would be. Can we talk a second? Can we talk a second about Paula Patton, please?
Gorgeous.
Robin Thicke's wife.
What a bastard.
Famous singer.
Robin Thicke.
Robin Thicke.
Fuck that guy.
I love Alan. I love Alan Thicke. I love Robin Thicke.
I love Alan Thicke. What a guy. What a good guy.
But yeah, she's been in some amazing movies. Idlewild, London.
Some
Precious.
amazing movies.
Yeah, I love Idlewild. I love Idlewild. I also love Precious.
Precious is really good.
She was good in Precious. Mirror's not so good.
Deja Vu.
Yeah, come on.
Swing Vote.
Come on.
Just Right.
These are
Jumping the Broom.
Those three movies you just named. She's a pretty good actress though. Seriously.
The movies suck.
But she's
but you say you can't say she's in good movies. She's a good actress.
Okay. All right. So I'll take this. Hitch was good.
I
love Idlewild.
Precious is good. Idlewild, it's okay. I did see it. I like it. Okay. I don't love it.
All right. Okay.
I don't love it.
Precious was good though.
Yes.
Mirror's not so much.
No.
Swing Vote was okay. Deja Vu. I don't know, man. I have
It's white noise to me.
I have a problem with Denzel's choices in movies sometimes, but that's neither here nor there. But she's a solid actress. But she's so beautiful. It's kind of hard to look at her sometimes. Like, if I had a girlfriend and I went with her, I'd feel weird because I feel like I was cheating on her looking at this girl. Like, she's incredible. She's incredible.
Yeah, she's gorgeous, man.
Yeah, amazing smile. Oh, man. I'm sorry.
You gonna be all right?
Just
need a moment? But I don't know. I think everything said, I think just because a lot of things are held constant in the film and you almost expect the performance, the entire credit for this movie, I think, just goes to Brad Bird. In my opinion.
Yeah.
I think Tom Cruise is amazing. I've always been a fan of his. Not to beat the dead horse, but I mean, this character is his. Like, I don't think any other action franchise, has been as lively and successful and ingenuous as this series has been. It's been quite genius in some ways in terms of how it's kept it fresh.
Yeah.
And how it's brought in new talent, new directors to take over, new talent in terms of the agents, the actors, whatever, new set pieces, just new. And I like that a lot. And I think Brad Bird was an amazing choice. His attention to detail and animation, I think, just completely translated and led him to be able to use visual space that we see and then maybe don't see now but see in a moment to expect. I just think that stuff works so incredibly well in this film.
Yeah, I think that the cool part about it was, I mean, although Tom Cruise was the star of the movie, Brad Bird really gave everybody a chance to be themselves.
Oh,
and
totally.
Their personalities kind of made this an amazing movie. Like, I feel like Tom Cruise by himself wouldn't have made this a great movie.
No.
He's great.
Yeah, I agree with you.
The whole group together, Jeremy, Paula Patton's acting, Simon Pegg's acting, all of it together made it was so entertaining.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, I think you've grown to like it more
I've
than we
grown to
talked
like
about it.
Yeah, that's weird. I thought that was
It happens sometimes.
Yeah.
I loved it. I want to see it again. I'd recommend seeing it to anybody that likes.
I have to see it in IMAX again. I can't.
IMAX was incredible.
Yeah,
Oh God, I love it in IMAX.
great movie.
And if you're going to see it in IMAX, try to see it at one of the 70mm houses where they're showing The Dark Knight Rises prologue.
Prologue. Oh my God.
I know you got to see it. I didn't, you bastard.
Oh my God, so good.
But yeah, go check it out there because I mean that's probably worth your money just for that too.
Right.
So that's needless to say, we recommend this film.
Yeah.
Go see it if you can. It's one of the better action holiday movies period out right now. Bang for your buck. You will not be disappointed in Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol.
Right.
Guaranteed. And if I'm wrong, I'm not giving you your money back. that's just a fault of mine. I don't know that I was wrong. So let's move on to our DVD quick picks.
Okay.
I'm let you take the lead on this one first.
Right. So I'm picking a very strange movie. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay.
It is The Devil's Double.
Okay.
It is Lee Tamhori's basically a movie about the house of Saddam Hussein. It specifically focuses on Uday Hussein, and basically Uday finds a person that could be his double that poses as his brother, which is really weird. So they basically say, "Oh, Saddam has another brother, another son." I'm sorry,
Yeah.
and he poses as his double. Now, the acting in this is pretty cool because the lead Dominic Cooper has to play Uday, who is Hussein and insane. And
Insane in the membrane.
Latif, who is basically the double, and then he plays Latif playing Uday.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of stuff, man. The movie, production-wise, has its good part. It's a clean-looking movie. Some of the special effects are so questionable.
Really?
Questionable, man. Because I think what happens is sometimes the double, they have to have another person play Uday, and then they put his head on top of it through special effects, which looks fucking awful. Uday Hussein was a rapist, a killer. He slept with little kids. He had sex with them, put them in ditches. Like, he was a terrible person. But this movie is so crazy. He's so charismatic in the movie. It's worth checking out.
Anybody else in the film in terms of
That I know?
Yeah.
Hell no, man. These are all like British actors. Some very Middle Eastern actors I've never heard of. Most of them Middle Eastern.
ever heard of in your life?
Never heard of in my life. None of these people. But it's worth checking out, man.
Okay.
Devil's Double.
Okay. I want to see it. I know I have it. I haven't had a chance to watch it. We wanted to see it when it was in theaters.
Don't eat anything when you see it.
Oh God.
It's really weird.
That good, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually gonna dip back into a little bit of basically singing the praises of the Brad Bird. Basically, I'm giving him a hand job right now. I'm warming it up right now. I'm gonna talk about the Iron Giant movie that came out in 1999. Oh God, so long ago.
Right.
Summer I graduated high school. Oh, what a summer. First off, if you haven't seen The Iron Giant, I'd really recommend checking it out. It's an animated film with the voices of Harry Connick Jr., Jennifer Aniston, and Vin Diesel. Actually, as the Iron Giant, which is
the Iron Giant.
but he's great. He's perfect for the film. I mean, it's
right.
crazy when I think back on who he is now, and this is kind of before anything really happened for him. But basically, it's a movie that's about it's a story of the friendship between this young boy and this alien robot that basically lands on Earth and is being hunted by a government agent that who wants to destroy this robot. And it's about their friendship and how it blossoms and how they come to love one another. It has kind of like a E.T. vibe to it, because it also affects like the boy's relationship with his mother and family and friends and whatnot. But I think one of the best things about this film is that initially when it came out, it didn't do very well at the box office. It's kind of a weird premise. It's more, it has more of that traditional animation look to it, which is at a time when a lot of the, Pixar CG stuff was coming out. This had that traditional, that traditional animation style that like a lot of the older Disney films made use of. And this was, basically a way for Brad Bird to kind of get out there on his own and kind of be an animator. And this was through Warner Brothers at the time, so this is also a time when Disney was doing really well and other animation studios
They
weren't.
weren't, man. That was a time where like people didn't trust animation.
Yeah,
from other
it was
companies.
weird. It didn't happen a lot, and a lot of it that did failed. And this was kind of sort of one that failed, but worldwide it made its money back. And then over time on DVD, it actually is where it became what it is.
Right.
And it's a critically acclaimed film, and I mean critics all around absolutely adored this film. It just didn't find an audience. And if you like any of these Pixar films that are, in my own admission, I'm in love with. Pixar, all about the story, the character, the heart, the depth of these films. You really need to watch The Iron Giant. It's what attracted Pixar to hire Brad Bird to do a film like Ratatouille or The Incredibles, and why those films are so fucking incredible.
Right.
This is where it came from, and this is what he kind of brought to the table and made people realize that one. It doesn't have to go through Disney, I guess.
Right.
This is a talent that put a movie out on Warner Brothers. It didn't do great, but it's a quality product. And it opened doors for him and probably for a lot of other animators, in that trade or in that craft. So Iron Giant's been out forever. It might even be on Netflix. I'd be shocked if it wasn't. But you can get it probably in like the $2 bin at Walmart on DVD.
Right.
But it's one of my top animated films probably the last, 10, 15 years. In love with it, and I'd really recommend checking it out. Have you seen it before?
No, I actually haven't seen it. Man.
You should really watch it.
I've seen
man.
it. Like I've like come in when people were watching. I've actually never seen it, so
Yeah,
I need to.
I'd recommend you do that.
I'll do that.
Then we can have a conversation.
Yep.
You watch that nice, lighthearted, family-loving animation film, and I watch the rape-laced Devil's Double, and not eat food before I watch that.
Don't eat food.
Cool. So that's gonna wrap up this episode 22. Thank you guys for listening, obviously, and we want to just let everyone know that we have the Schmovie.net site still.
Yep.
It's not going anywhere.
Twitter.com.
Twitter.com/movie the @gmail.com. And the most important things, in our opinion, while those sites are really great, is the iTunes and the Mixcloud. That's where this podcast sits. Everything else is interaction. That's amazing, and we'd love to talk to people and love to share information. But whether or not people listen to this is kind of what makes it keep going.
Right.
And really, in a lot of ways, we don't know how many people always listen to this.
Right.
We have an idea, but we can only imagine people out there have a similar taste in movies to us, as we do. And we're just average guys, that just love going to the movies and hanging out. So, please keep listening. Please recommend it on your Facebook pages. Share the link. Do whatever you can. Email the freaking MP3 to somebody if you can, or post it on your own site. We don't care.
Yeah.
Take the MP3 when you download it and put it wherever you want.
Just get it.
Or embed it.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
even easier.
Yeah.
If you go to our Mixcloud, it's got the embed code right there. You can put the player right on your page.
Don't be a bitch.
And that'd be.
Don't be a bitch about this.
So on one hand, you could be a bitch, or on the other hand, you could be a really good person.
Right.
And, usually that's an easy decision for people to make. I just don't know why people aren't making that decision more often with this podcast.
Make it.
Does this podcast suck?
No, I think it's great.
It's pretty great.
It's pretty great. We have a good dynamic.
I think we have a lot of fun doing that, doing this, and that is what, I think people look for.
Yeah.
Or just to, talk about movies, what we do. So yeah, guys. So thanks again for listening. Be sure to keep an eye out. We're going to be putting up actually not too soon, or not too long after we post this one, we're going to post a special holiday podcast talking about some of our favorite holiday films. So you'll want to listen to that for sure.
Right.
Because who doesn't like the holidays?
Right.
Yeah,
unless you're an atheist of some sort.
And if you're, I don't even want to go there, man. That's a whole different podcast category.
It's a deep podcast.
Yeah, no, we just went deep.
Just got serious.
We went deep and didn't mean to. All right, guys, we'll talk to you later. Thanks again for listening, and as always, you've made our day.
Bye-bye.